Morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in 1st of July, actually. Here we go, beginning of summer. And Holly's away this weekend, so that means I have a long list of stuff that I need to get done, which is great. First thing we're going to start off with today is installing an automatic chicken coop door opener and closer. Right now, so chickens like to come out when it's of the coop in the morning, kind of at first light, and then they kind of automatically come back into the coop when it gets dark. But of course, that's like 5 a.m. When it first gets light right now in the summer, and it's 10 o'clock at night. So that means we got to get up early and come down here late to manually open the door. So show you what we're up against here. So right now our system is to this string controls the door there down there, so we can open and close the door manually. But yes, you're taking your life in your hands, chickens. But we're going to try and automate that. So we ordered a automatic chicken coop door from Vevor. I've never ordered from them before, and I've already opened this, as you can see. But here's the box. So there's a couple different types of automatic chicken coop doors. One that's quite popular, I gather, is it's got a control box like this, but it's just a little motor in there that winds a string up and down, and the door kind of has to sit on the outside. They've got an ambient light sensor in them, so when you get an ambient light sensor in them, so when it senses day and night, and it opens the door and closes the door accordingly. But that other brand that we didn't buy, it has the ambient light sensor right on that box, so you have to mount the box on the outside of the wall, which means you got to run electrical and everything to the outside, and then you get weather issues and all that. And it's just a string that drops the door down. So very similar to what I just showed you now, but since it's on the outside, a predator. We have coyotes, however you want to say it. We have coyotes here, and at night, if they wanted to get their paw under and lift the door open, they could. So, of course, that brand offers a locking door, but, and then I have issues about what happens when it gets dirty and clogged up with snow in the winter and all that. So we decided to go with this other version. So this version from Vevor, who we have no relationship with. We bought this at full price and everything. I just wanted to show you what it is. It mounts inside, and it has an ambient light sensor. That's that one there, that little cable. Ambient light sensor that you can drill through the wall. Thanks for that. Drill through the wall and mount the ambient light sensor on the outside, and the rest of the stuff stays on the inside, and the door mounts on the inside. So I'm thinking that's going to be quite a bit more reliable than mounting everything on the outside with our weather here. So it comes with this box, and this isn't how it came packaged, because of course I've already opened it, but instructions, thank goodness. The big difference with this one is it's got a linear actuator, a motorized linear actuator. So this thing takes about, the specs say 10 millimeters per second, so which is about an inch, for those of you who aren't in metric, an inch a second. I figured it takes about half a minute to close the door, do the math. Anyway, but it's an electric motor down here that turns a screw inside this, and then this shaft extends, and of course that's the part that hangs upside down and attaches to the door, and then it opens and closes the door. So the nice thing is when it's down, it can't be forced open easily. So we're hoping it's a lot more predator proof, and the fact that the door is on the inside of the coop, it would make it even more difficult. The door is a little bit weird. I guess they just made it in two pieces for shipping, because it kind of folds in half here, and then it locks open, and it says to please use the L screwdriver when you install the door, which by L screwdriver they mean an Allen wrench, which they supply. So it came with some spacers and some screws, and even a little measuring tape, which is really cute. And then there's a track for the door, 2 tracks, one on each side, and of course the door itself. And typical with this kind of thing, lots of plastic. which drives me nuts. This is powered by a 110 volt AC adapter. It's actually 12 volt output, so if that matters to you, but it's plug it into a wall outlet. We do have power in here, so in the chicken coop, which is nice. And then it also comes with a couple remotes, believe it or not. So it comes with two of these remotes. The only downside is the remotes, well, I haven't checked, but the instructions say they don't come with batteries. Sure enough, no batteries. And the instructions say it's some weird battery, some 12 volt battery, which is really odd. So I have to reread that, but if that's the case, I mean, they're not common, AAAs or something, so it would have been really nice to have those supplied if they're really odd. But again, the remote has a rated range of 40 meters, or what's that, about if you're not in metric, a meter's at roughly a yard, so what's that, 120, 130 feet? And we're a lot further than that from the house down here, so I don't see us using the remotes anyway, so it's not a big deal for us. So I have to remove the current door that's in the coop that I just showed you, and then figure out how to install this one. So it should be fun. I'll try and keep you posted as the job progresses here. Okay, we've got the rails mounted 11 inches apart, inside is what they say. And come on, ladies, please. I know you're curious, but come on. And so now we've assembled the door, peeled the protective coating off of it, and attached the actuator. I've left it loose right now so I can adjust it, but attach the actuator to that as per the instructions. So next step is to attach the actuator to the wall and make sure the door slides up and down. Okay, so we're about an hour later, and we had to make some modifications. So I ended up using the original door that my son-in-law made, who's a carpenter. Thank you very much, Thomas. Fortunately, this linear actuator is more than strong enough to handle that door. The reason I did that is because the other one was too small. So we'd already cut our opening, obviously, for the entry, the door that they're going through right now. And it was about 6 inches higher than the height of the metal plate. So I just ended up using this door. Now, it still doesn't open it all the way. There is about, obviously, another 6 inches because the linear actuator only goes so far. But the chickens can, as you can see, can easily get in and out of there. So I still have to dress all the wires and everything. This is by no means complete. But I put a board on the wall there to give it some more support because it's just chipboard, and also to space it off from the edge a bit. So there's the controller box. So it would have been nice. The controller box has no way to mount it. So I ended up, thank you, genius. I ended up drilling a couple holes in the back at the top there. I've only got one screw in at the moment to mount it, but other than that, there's no way to mount that box anywhere. So that's a very, very small design flaw, but again, it took like 30 seconds to drill a hole in the plastic. I've routed the external light sensor outside there, and it's got a little waterproof cap on it, so it's just sticking barely outside the siding, so it should be fine. And then there are adjustments there, so you can adjust those little potentiometers, those little round knob things on the top left, so you can adjust the open and close speed, the sensitivity to light, like how dark does it have to be before it closes. The other thing I had to wire in was this infrared sensor. It's like a chicken safety sensor, I guess, down there. I'm going to dress that wire and anchor it to the back of that 2x4 because chickens are very, very curious, and already I've had a couple pecking at the lens on that thing. If you do go to install it, read the instructions on that infrared deal, because you have to have it rotated the right way. It's got to be in the right orientation, otherwise it won't work. Fortunately, there's a little red indicator light on the back that shows you when it's in like alarm mode, so it'll open up the door. So what I'll do is I can't cover the sensor right now because it's outside, but I'll show you in a minute the open and close speed of this thing. One thing I should mention that is nice, the nuts on the lid here, it's very well sealed lid. You can see it's got an O-ring on it, a rubber O-ring with that fits nicely. So it does take a little bit of prying to get it off, which is good. The screws are captive, meaning they won't fall out. So you undo them and they don't fall out, which is really nice when you're working in a chicken coop with a bunch of curious chickens who would probably swallow those up in about 3 seconds after I drop it on the floor. So that's a really nice feature. So thank you, whoever designed those. All right, so there's the finished product, wired in. Just try to root that gray wire out of the way of the chicken pecking zone. And then rookie mistake, I forgot my wire cutters on the zip ties, but come down and do that later. And then just strain relieved the little light sensor going outside and dressed up the extension cord a little bit. So overall, not too complicated. Just some oddities with our door because we'd already cut the hole like I mentioned. But yeah, there you go. Now the tricky part is the light sensors outside. So I want to show you how the door closes, although it's not rocket science, it just closes just very slowly. Problem is I've got chickens going in and out here too, so they're tripping that safety sensor down at the bottom every time I try to close it, so we'll figure it out. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, it's a very slow close.